Hey there, Emma. I just wanted to let you know that I found that lunch that I made for you in the trash. Was there something wrong with what I cooked?
You mean that steaming pile of garbage you left on the counter for me? I'm going to be eating the school lunches from here on out. I don't ever want to have to taste your awful cooking again.
I don't understand what's gotten into you. I got up early just to make you your favorite. I know that you said you had a big meeting today, so I wanted to pack you something that you'd really like.
Ew! Don't ever say anything like that to me ever again. And just what are you trying to pull here anyways? You know we're not even related by blood, so I don't need you pretending to be my mom when we both know that you're not.
Emma, honestly, why are you acting this way towards me? I don't know what I did to you to deserve this kind of language. Why are you talking to me like this all of a sudden?
Oh, just shut up already, you stupid old hag. All the meddling you're doing is just negatively affecting me at work. I can't even focus now because I didn't have lunch at all, because it would mean I would have to force down your nasty slop.
That's not fair at all. I'm sure that there were other options you could have gotten to eat.
But it's not just the food, it's your whole existence that's ruining everything for me. And it's all your fault that I wasn't chosen to work on that big project for my job.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, the meeting yesterday was about presenting proposals for our now product line we're releasing for Mother's Day. I worked on my ideas for 6 whole months, but my bosses went with another person's designs. If you were a better mother, then I would have to know how to appeal to moms better.
Well, I'm sure you worked very hard, and I'm sorry that your idea wasn't picked, but you can't really think that it's my fault, right?
And just what is that supposed to mean? I know that my ideas were perfect, and the other girl who presented looked like she had just thrown her proposal together the day before. So what I want to know is why wasn't mine picked? And the answer is because I don't have a real mom.
What do you mean by that?
Well, this new line was meant to market to moms, but I bet people in the office knew that I didn't have a mom. And so even though I had a great idea, I wasn't chosen. It's all your fault. If you weren't in my life, then people wouldn't have panned my project.
Emma, please just calm down for a little and think this through. I know the feeling of not having your idea chosen. It can hurt your pride and sting you, but blaming other people isn't going to solve anything.
Just shut up already, you annoying witch. Why did I have to end up with you as a mom? Where's my real mom? Why isn't she here? I wish you were still here instead of you. You ruined my chances of ever moving up the company just by existing. Now this little nobody with half-assed ideas is going to get all the credit I should have.
Emma, please just listen to yourself.
No! You ruined everything! I had a plan all worked out and you blew it up. And also, your cooking stinks. I never want you to cook anything for me ever again.
Oh, Carly, are you there? I just heard that my daughter is engaged to be married, and I just have to know it's true. Because I heard that she's going to be marrying some higher-up who happens to work for a huge company. So basically, my little girl struck it rich. I couldn't be more proud.
Wait a second, you've heard that Emma's going to be getting married? I haven't heard anything like that at all.
You mean that you two live in the same house and you didn't even know that she was getting married? Just what kind of mother are you anyways? I mean, this is huge news, and you're hearing about it through me, her real mother?
But I'm still so confused.
Well, I suppose that means you haven't heard about the news from Emma yourself then. And I have no idea how to get a hold of her either. But I just heard rumors that she was getting married. That's the whole reason I'm messaging you in the first place.
Well, I suppose that I can just go and ask Emma myself. And just to be clear, you are nothing to Emma, remember? So while I'm grateful to you for sharing this news to me, I'm going to stop responding to you now.
Hold on just a second. We're not through here. You can't just take what I gave you and run off like that.
And just what more is there to talk about? You've told me what you heard and I said thank you, but Emma still thinks that you're dead.
You really are a terrible mother. Do you know that? I still don't get how you could tell a daughter that her real mother is dead when I'm right here.
Excuse me? The only horrible mother here is you, Sadie. Do you have any idea how much you've put your poor husband and Emma through? The whole reason Emma thinks you're dead in the first place is because Doug and I talked and agreed that it would be easier that way.
Oh yes, I'm always the bad guy, aren't I? I'm literally the worst mother in the world. But I still have my ways of getting information when I want it. Like, through some Doug's old co-workers, or old teachers from school that Emma went to. And I still haven't forgotten how you two sued me for spending all the money Doug and I had set away from Emma's education. I was pretty wild back then, wasn't I?
If you realize that, then please understand why we never want anything to do with you ever again. And that includes Emma.
Well, I'm afraid that you and I are just going to have to agree to disagree on this one. Because while I can admit that I'm a horrible mother, the fact of the matter is, I'm still Emma's mother. And what that means is that I want to get half of all the money Emma gets on her wedding day.
Wait a second, you're trying to take money from your own daughter's wedding?
That's right. I'm the girl's mother, and that means what is hers is mine. So I should get my fair share. I need money to pay back this latest lawsuit what I'm dealing with.
Let me guess, you cheated on another married man.
Well, this one wasn't my fault. The guy said that we would get married. He told me that things with his wife weren't going so good, but it was still taking too long for me. So I called his wife and told her to hurry up and leave her husband. But then, after they got divorced, the man told me that I blew up his life and left me.
And then the wife sued the two of you for the affair? Well, you can't pretend like that's anyone else's fault but your own. But how could you even think to want to use your own daughter's wedding money to pay off your debts?
Well, if you don't want to make Emma pay, then I have another idea. You can pay off all my debts in Emma's place. I think about $20,000 should do it.
I'm sorry, but no one is under any obligation to give you any money, and you have no idea what you're talking about.
What are you talking about? I kept my existence a secret from my daughter for 20 years. Do you think I'm going to keep doing that for free? Now, do you want to write a check or send it over an app?
Hey, Emma. I'm really sorry to bother you while you're at work, but we have something important we need to talk about.
Can you not leave me alone for a whole day? What could you possibly want now? You've already ruined my chances with the Mother's Day proposal, and now I have more work that I have to do.
Again, I'm really sorry to bug you while you're so busy, but you just never talk to me at home. There was something that I needed to ask you. Are you engaged to be married?
Wait, what? How did you figure that out? Who told you? I haven't even told my dad that I'm engaged to this guy, so how did you figure it out?
Emma, why wouldn't you tell your father and I that you were getting married? This is huge, amazing news and something to be happy about. Although I would have loved to hear the good news from you yourself.
Shut up, you nosy old woman. I was never ever going to tell you about my wedding, ever. But I guess somehow someone let the secret out and told you.
What do you mean you were never going to tell me? This is huge news. Why wouldn't you tell your parents this?
What did you just say? How many times do I have to tell you that we are not related? You are not my mom, and you need to stop trying to act like you are. You're just a faker. A phony. You're not my mom.
Of course I'm your mom. Who was it that raised you for the past 20 years, huh?
What do you want, a medal or something? You're nothing but an over-glorified babysitter to me. I will never ever think of you as my mother.
Emma, why are you acting like this?
Well, since the cat's out of the bag, I may as well tell you everything. I'm going to be marrying someone from my work. He works in the upper management of my company, and we've been going out basically since I started this. And not that long ago, he proposed to me.
I had no idea that you were even dating anyone at all.
Well, my fiancé's family is very rich and powerful, and they have a bunch of rich and powerful friends too. So, I didn't want you getting involved since I know that you'd ruin it for me like you do everything else. And that's why I didn't say anything.
How can you say that I would ruin this for you? And do you really even think being related by blood matters that much? It doesn't change the fact that I was the only one raising you alongside your father. It doesn't erase all the past times we've had together as mother and daughter.
What times were those again? I can't seem to remember anything right now. All I remember is how many times you've gotten in my way. It's no wonder I hate you so much.
Emma, how can you speak to me like this?
And you better believe that I'm not going to invite you to the wedding. I'm only going to invite my dad. But there's no way I'm going to have my make-believe mom there.
What did you just call me?
I don't get why you're trying to talk to me like that. You know I don't think of you as my mom. Instead, I'm going to save a seat for my real mother who'll be watching me getting married from above.
Are you really sure you want to do that? Do you really think of me so little as your mother that you wouldn't even invite me to your wedding?
You are never going to know any detail about it, Carly. So don't bother snooping around for any info on it. The only mom of mine I want there is my real mom.
Well, if that's really what you want, I can just invite her for you then.
What do you mean?
I mean, you don't need to leave an empty seat for her because she can actually just come and sit there instead. I mean it, I'll tell her that you want her there at your wedding. I'm sure she'll be overjoyed.
Wait a second. What are you saying? Are you trying to tell me that my mom is still alive? But you and Dad always told me that she died in a car accident when I was just a baby.
That's right, we did, but that was a lie that your dad and I agreed would be better to tell you. Truth is that your parents divorced when you were very little and we thought you wouldn't understand, so instead we told you that your birth mother was dead.
But she's actually alive this whole time? My real biological mom. Yes, she has to be at my wedding. I need to have her there.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll just stay at home like the little faker that I am.
This is perfect. This is going to be the best wedding ever. Please reach out to my real mom and tell her that I'm so excited to meet her. Get this woman out of my wedding right now. Please, do you think you could come over here and deal with this for me? I promise that you'll be my real mom from now on, but just come and help me.
And I was just about to turn on my favorite show while I sit down for lunch. What is it, Emma? What can your fake mother do for you today?
You might be a fake mom, but you're better than this horrible lady. She's completely ruining my wedding right now. I've never met anyone like her. She's awful. I can't believe that we're actually related.
Ruining your wedding? But I thought that you wanted Sadie to be there for you on this day.
Well, she showed up to the wedding and immediately grabbed a bottle of wine for herself and was just drinking it out of the bottle. That was a while ago, and now she's completely wasted. And she's just making a total mess of herself and my wedding. I tried to get her to meet my husband, and she just told him to meet him in the bathrooms in an hour. It totally ruined the whole mood for the day. Even when I tried to laugh it off and tell everyone she was joking, it was too late. And then she just started cursing at my husband's parents. Then she said that they'd all be family from now on and that she wanted them to send her a lifetime supply of wine.
Wow, well, it sounds like she was just making a fool of herself in front of everyone.
Then she tried to get all buddy-buddy with my future mother-in-law and started asking her all these perverted questions. Everyone was just watching in horror as my mom went from person to person saying horrible, vile things.
Wow, she really didn't hold back at all, did she?
And Dad didn't even do anything either. He just sat back and watched as it all happened. He just looked at me and told me that this is what I was asking for by insisting she come. The whole day was completely ruined.
Well, I have to agree with your father on this one. I knew that it wouldn't be a good thing if your mother showed up to your wedding.
How did it all come to this?
But don't forget that you were the one that said that you didn't want me there, so I'm not about to go and put out that fire for you. This is the wedding you wanted, like it or not. Maybe just think of it as a comedy show and you can feel a bit better about it.
What are you talking about? This isn't what I wanted for my wedding at all. How am I supposed to enjoy the day like this? My husband won't look me in the eyes anymore.
I'm sorry, but I don't think it's my place as your fake mother to say anything. So I'll just sit here and watch my shows now if you don't mind.
Oh man, my head is just pounding. I think I might have just a little too much to drink yesterday because I don't remember the wedding at all. But the venue handed me the bill because I apparently broke a bunch of stuff.
You really made a mess of it yesterday, or so I heard. According to Emma, you were quite the sight at the wedding. But I would pay that bill because it is very real.
Are you kidding me? This bill is for $30,000. I don't have that kind of money. You should pay it instead.
And just why should I have to? I didn't have anything to do with the wedding.
Well, isn't that just sad? So you really didn't show up to the wedding at all? I was really meant to take your place there? That's hilarious. But if that's the case, then you should pay for it then.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
I don't care if you don't get it. Just pay the money. You're Emma's mom too, so you need to take responsibility for what her real mom did.
I'm afraid that I'm no longer Emma's mom. I decided to cut her out of my life entirely. You're gonna have to take responsibility for your actions.
What do you mean you cut her off out of your life?
I mean that I spent decades of my life raising her only for her to treat me like I wasn't real. I talked to her father and he agreed it was probably best. So anyways, this is all your problem to deal with.
But I can't pay this much money. Besides, I still haven't gotten any of Emma's wedding money.
If you want to negotiate that, you're gonna have to speak with Emma yourself. I'm sure she'll listen to what you have to say since you're her real mother.
You have to do something. My wedding was cancelled. My fiancé said that he couldn't marry me, and both his parents said that I could never be part of their family.
Oh, and you were so close too. Oh well.
My life is just one failure after the next. First, my proposal wasn't chosen. Now I've lost my fiancé, and I'm so embarrassed that I'll never be able to show my face at work again.
What do you mean by that?
Carly, I'm so sorry for calling you my fake mom. I realize now that you're the only mother I've ever had. So please, can you help me buy all these cancellation fees for the wedding?
Wow, you really just dove into asking for money, didn't you?
Please. My work isn't going so well, and I was just taking out my anger on those around me. I really do think of you as my mom. I'm glad that we all live together.
Well, that's not going to last for much longer since your father sold the house.
Wait, what?
Yep, we talked it out and we decided to cut you off entirely. And though we've been in this house for many years, it's time that we leave it behind. We've already signed all the papers and sealed the deal.
You have got to be kidding me.
No, it's the truth. You have until the end of the day to pack up your things. The real estate people are coming to inspect the house this weekend.
But then where are you and Dad going to live? I want to stay with you two.
I'm not going to tell you that because we never want to see you again.
You can't be serious.
So thank you for living with your fake mother up until now, but you can be free and live your real life now. After that, we threw all of Emma's things outside the house for her to sort through and drove off to live in our new home. I heard that Emma quit her job and moved into a tiny apartment where she's living now. She tried asking around to friends and family about where Father and I had moved to, but they kept our secret for us and no one ever told her. As for Sadie, she was forced to pay for the damages she's caused, and I heard she ended up having to borrow from some pretty shady people to pay it back.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Man, I was so surprised today. It's been since our graduation ceremony at college since you and I last saw one another. And for me to run into you again is just wow. By the way, you started working at the bank after you graduated, right? Well, I never knew you were working at that bank of all places. I was just as shocked as you today. I never thought I'd be running into someone I knew from college today at work. From what I heard through other people, you happened to get married right after you graduated, right? You already know that one to be true, Cindy. After all, the man I married happened to be your ex-boyfriend, Jackson. It's because of me stealing him from you back in the day that I'm able to be happy all the time with him. Thank you so much for that, by the way. Huh? But listen, I've been worried about you this whole time, Cindy. You really loved Jackson back then, and I didn't know what kinds of things stealing him from you would do. You ended up taking time off school after you found out I was the one that took him from you, right? I'm glad to see that after something as tragic as that, you were able to get yourself a job and are working. Stop talking about all of that like it wasn't a huge problem. What the heck do you mean you've been worried about me all this time? No way you've been. I've been more worried about you because of how mentally unstable you are. What? I am still not over what happened back then between you and I. I had always thought of you as my number one friend, then yet, because of that sadness and hatred I felt after you took my boyfriend, I was never able to get over it. Stop trying to act like you're still a victim to that. Back then, I was just young and made a mistake. I was jealous of you because you had gotten yourself a man that works for a huge company, and I really wanted him for myself, and that's why I began to make myself a little closer to him, if you know what I mean. Well, it's because of me and my beauty that I was able to keep him, and right after graduation ceremony, him and I got married. And right after being cheated on by my boyfriend and having my best friend end up being the one doing so with him, I left the two of you behind and started to work on finding myself a proper job. However, while that was all going on, you continued to harass me with comments about how you didn't need to find work because you had a rich man by your side now. I am really so happy I married Jackson. He's able to bring in a ton of money for me, and I never have to leave anything too for anything besides leisure. And when it comes to things like chores, he says I don't even have to worry about them. All he wants from me is me at his side, as that what makes him happy. Oh, that's so amazing for you. But, as I was thinking, never having anything to do really leads to one becoming bored, right? As that's why I've gone out and made myself a business. I'll be going from a housewife to one of the best business owners in the city. You're going to become a business owner? I want to make myself a salon where I can get other women like me who have a lot of free time on their hands to come work. And I'll make sure that they are taught how to treat really high-end models and rich older women's hair. That way I can make millions. That's why I ended up going to the bank today to get some financial support. And you happened to be there. I was laughing my butt off at that time. Someone like you ended up as a single woman and now have to spend every day of your life working to support yourself, right? Huh? Your last name hasn't even changed yet, so that means you don't have a husband, right? Could this be because you still can't get Jackson off your mind? I'm sorry, but I'm married right now. My husband happened to take my last name, and so that's why my name has not changed at all. You're lying. Someone that had their boyfriend stolen from them from right under the nose has a husband now? Well, I suppose there are men in this world more hopeless than you. I'm sure that he has nothing special about himself, and that's why you settled from him, right? That's not true at all. He cares a lot about his career and is someone I can count on quite often. Actually, he happens to be a department manager for the company he's working for. What? A department manager? I actually married him after we both met working in this bank. Hold it! You stop right there. To be a department manager at a large bank like that would mean he's kind of an elite, right? The fact that you were able to land a husband with such an amazing job and income as that, I can't fathom. Now, I'm really busy with work still. See you. I hope you can get that business of yours rolling.
Cindy, come and help me. What the hell is up with this friend of yours?
Huh? What's going on with you?
Just a bit ago, she came in saying that she plans to start a business of her own, and that she'd like some financial support with it. I asked for another one of my employees to handle that for me, to start looking into her history and all that to see if we could accept her and let her get a loan through us. And just after talking for a bit through my employee and settling the conversation, we thought she'd gone home. But she's back again, and now she's asking to speak directly to me. She keeps saying that she's friends with my wife, and it means I have to give her money right away.
What? Does her name happen to be Tiffany by any chance?
That's right, that's her. I tried to handle the situation myself, but she's asking me more about my private life than actually wanted to talk about business.
Huh?
She's asking me whether or not I'm getting tired of being married to you. And she's asked me many times now what types of women I like. What the hell does she want from me, this woman? Actually, do you really happen to have a friend as vulgar and stupid as this woman?
Well, I did have a friend like that at one point, but not anymore. I'm sorry that you've had to deal with her when you're so busy. She happened to be in the same class as me back in college, but there was a lot that happened and now I don't talk to her anymore. But actually, she ran into me today when I was walking into work.
There was a lot that happened between you two? She must be that really crazy chick you told me about before, right?
She happened to be that girl that stole my boyfriend from me while I was dating him.
She stole your boyfriend?
And because of that, she's been able to enjoy a really relaxing life as a housewife with him. Well, she just kept going on and on about how amazing her life is and bragging to me that I told her I had to go. But before saying so to her, I wanted to get back at all her bragging a little and told her that my husband happens to be the department manager here.
So that's how she became aware of me then.
You really don't have to worry about this anymore and get right back to work. If it doesn't look like you can finance her business for her, then just tell it to her straight.
Oh, I'm definitely not financing her. It already seems like the business she wants me to finance for her is a little vague. But there are also some other things in her past that are stopping me. Are you sure that woman is really married right now? Because the background check...
What do you mean by that?
When it comes to us wanting to start supporting someone with opening a business, we first need to know about the money they have currently. But she told me that with the amount her husband makes every month, we shouldn't have to look at her account balance and everything. And after that, all she continued to do was try and force us to look over her husband's income. The problem here is, the income statement from her husband is from 5 years ago.
5 years ago? That's not going to help her get her funding at all, right?
I told her for the time being that it might be a little difficult for us to get her any money. But then she asked me what she could do to get me to give her funding from the bank. She kept begging me to tell her what she could do, and then she handed me her number and walked out.
Huh?
Of course, right after getting it from her, I threw it away. But seriously, something about all of this isn't right.
She came into the bank asking for money, but the only way to prove she was financially stable was her husband's income statement from 5 years ago. I thought I had seen it all working for the bank, but that right there is just wild. If she really happens to have a husband that can make enough money for her to stay home all day, then why can't he fund her new business?
I don't understand why that isn't happening either, because that seems like a way easier option for her.
Do you want me to take over this problem for you? I'm really sorry all of this ended up on your plate, but I'd really like to handle it before things get out of hand, and she comes after you.
Huh? Are you sure you're okay with that? Aren't you busy yourself? You just became this bank's executive this year, right? So you have so much you need to do already. Having to take on the work I should be handling is not something that'll go over well with your workload, right?
No worries, Martin. I'm actually quite embarrassed that someone from back in my school days has come back and caused my husband all kinds of trouble. I'll deal with Tiffany from now on, so if she comes in again, send her to me. And if she's come asking about the financial support she'd like again, tell me. I'm sorry, Cindy. It looks like as though this time I've gone and stolen your husband from you. Uh-huh? To think that you'd actually have a husband that's the department manager for a huge bank like that. I've been so jealous of you being married to an elite like him. It's driven me nuts. That's why, like last time, this time he's mine. What are you going on about? My husband has no reason to be cheating on me with a woman like you. My husband actually happens to love me very much and is straightforward enough where if he stopped having feelings for me, he'd say so. I'm sure this is all hard for you to believe, but he's gone and chosen me now. He had been saying no to all of my advances for a little while now, but finally, today he said he's going to go out with me, and now we're going out to a bar together.
The fact that he's willing to go out with me to a bar at night just goes to show that he's completely fallen for me. He's already forgotten about you, and I'm hoping tonight we can make that official by taking things to a hotel room.
What? You think him saying yes to going out with you tonight to a bar is him showing that he no longer loves me?
Well, would he ever go out with another woman one-on-one for drinks that late night in the evening? In other words, this all shows that he does not care about you as his wife anymore. He's only focused on me now.
Well, even if that were to be the case, don't you have a husband yourself? Do you plan to stab Jackson in the back now?
Of course I do. I'm going to hop off his slow train and onto your husband's luxurious and fast one.
Really?
He may be working for a very large company and all, but him making it to the top is going to take forever. Compared to him, your husband is by far the better choice for me. At the age he's at, he's already managed a position as the department manager for a bank that popular. I need him to be mine right now. He will definitely be the perfect choice as my next lover.
Man, I feel so bad for poor old Jackson then.
And also, since I'll become the wife of a department manager at the bank, I'll be able to get my funding for my bank, no questions asked. That means I'll have my business up and running in no time.
No bank is ever going to offer financing like that to another family member. This bank is far from that kind of practice and will make sure you go through the same process as everyone else.
Shut the hell up! All you are is a base level employee there and know nothing about that bank's practices.
What?
Compared to your husband, you'll never move up in that bank, so you're better off just shutting up and letting all this play out. You won't be able to do anything about us in your position anyway, as your husband is currently the department manager and he might soon fire you.
And actually, since you've already lost to me again, go ahead and start working on those divorce papers and hurry up all this for me. That man is now mine and I'll have access to all of his money. Do you have any idea who I am?
Huh?
I guess you have no reason knowing who I am since you're just a loser. You were even able to take a good look at who I was walking into the bank last month, and yet you still have no clue about me.
Hold on now. You have no right making fun of me now when you're still a low-level employee there.
I'm just calling an idiot an idiot. What's so wrong with me doing something as correct as that? You think that I'm actually a simple employee here? I'm above my own husband in this company as I'm the company executive for this bank. I happen to have a lot more difficult of a job than he even has, and in return for that, I literally am making the bank. So you really have no place calling someone like me a low-level employee.
What? The company executive? What is that position?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. An idiot like you would never be able to understand what someone in my position is. Banks area actually run a little differently than your average companies when it comes to business. When you talk about department managers in banks, they are actually the branch manager, and the person above them that directs everything is called the company executive or just the executive.
And so by what you've told me, you're actually the executive for that bank?
That's right. Yet you said I can't do what my husband, the branch manager, is able to do? How hilarious! There's no way he's able to do anything without my approval first. I have more rights than anyone in this bank after all.
Huh?
And when you've told me that you've gone and stolen my husband from me and everything, I have to say I'm sorry for you. You think my husband would ever throw someone like me who's making so much money right now away for someone with no money? Today I'm going out to dinner with my husband as it's actually the day of our wedding anniversary.
Your guys' wedding anniversary?
Yeah. Today we have been married to one another for 3 years now, and that's why we're going out to dinner to celebrate. You think he'd really want to go out to you on a bar on an important day like this?
But he said he wanted to go out with me tonight to the bar. He told me he'd be waiting for me there and everything. He was the one that messaged me and everything about our date plans. I don't care about the fact that you're some kind of executive, because that means nothing when you're about to lose your husband.
So this is who my wife's been talking to. When did I ever say to you that I'd be going out to the bar tonight with you? It's disgusting that you'd even think that of a married man, so stop with your crap.
Huh?
It's been a little while, right? I'm Cindy's husband, Martin, if you couldn't already tell.
Martin, why would you say all of this is disgusting to you? You were the one that said yes to going out on this date with me tonight, right? You told me that you'd be waiting at Freezy's bar just downtown for me.
I told you to never talk to me about anything else ever again, and said for you to always remember what I said to you. The only thing I said yes to you about was having you come to that bar tonight, at the place we're having dinner, so that I can show you how much I love Cindy.
What? You plan to show me something like that?
I've told you so many times to shut the hell up and leave me alone, yet every time you come back saying you're a better woman than my wife. And then you follow that up with asking me whether or not I'm tired of Cindy yet. You have kept all of that up for so long that it's really drove me up a wall. But look, Tiffany, I don't like that you have my wife involved in all this still, when she has a lot of work to focus on. So that's why I said we could go out tonight and that you could meet me at the restaurant and bar to see me with the woman that I love. I was surely hoping after seeing that you'd give up. That's the reason for me saying yes to you wanting to go on a date, and that's why I've been waiting.
That's what's going on? None of that was about you wanting to actually go on a date with me? And you're going to tell me that you didn't fall for my beauty?
What about you was so beautiful again? Don't say something so embarrassing about yourself like that, please.
Uh-huh.
I really like myself a woman that puts all her effort into her work like my wife. I find that kind of thing beautiful about my wife, and it gets me to love her so much. But comparing her to someone that thinks it's okay to steal men from other women and then openly flaunt about it? No way in hell. Not happening. To me, nothing about that is beautiful.
Huh?
I do find your drive to open your own business really cool. But the fact that you don't have any money and ask for a lot, and don't even have any experience in the field? You really think you can get financing from us just like that? You told me you wanted all your employees to have wonderful manners and skills for the job so that you could cater to celebrities and such. But look at you. No manners whatsoever. You've been digging into my wife, trying to make yourself look better than her by talking all this talk for so long, but have nothing to show for it yet. Do you think any bank is going to want to lend you any of their money?
What? There have got to be women that want to come work for me and learn about how to take care of people with lots of money, right? Stop making fun of me and my dream to become one of the best business owners in the city.
You do have a good point. There are things in this world that you will never know about unless tried. But when it comes to this bank and its money, we're not going to blindly throw it away with you. If we don't see something having a chance of turning up a profit, we won't finance it, especially when it's for something run by someone with poor ethics. That's simple.
Stop all that bullcrap right now. Thinking you can harass me like that? You're not even going to go on a date with me now, and yet you still want to bully my dreams? Who the hell would ever want to cheat on their husband for someone as rotten as you? You can go ahead and stay with that toxic wife of yours and both go rot in hell. Sorry about my husband yesterday, Tiffany. No matter what the reasoning, someone should never make fun of another wants and dreams. I warned him not to do that again, okay? As for my bank, we want to help make sure that everyone is treated fairly when it comes to their money. So if you don't mind, next time come see me in person and we can talk about your dream. You and I were together back in college, so I promise to treat you well. Oh, so now the executive of that bank is going to be the one to talk with me about my business? Well, that must mean I'll get my money in no time, right? That is not all what I meant. Rather, I would be happy to offer my support if we can make a deal. So in return for me being kind enough about letting you work with us, I'd like you to start being honest with me. Let's start by talking about how years ago that husband of yours ran away from you, right? So right now you've been living in a load of debt all by yourself. What? If you are not going to be able to tell us everything about your financial situation, we're not going to be able to help you here. You hold on a second. Why? Why the hell are you aware of what happened with my husband and my debt? Well, I happen to be the executive of a very large and popular bank, right? And I happen to know about him because of that. I am also aware of the amount of money you currently have and about when and where you're receiving and sending money. You happen to both still share some banking information with one another, so I can find out about you through it. Are you kidding me?
But listen, I haven't been doing all of this looking through your history for a bad reason. We just happen to have to know as much about you as possible before considering you for financing. But don't forget, we also have to look into your personal history here, and I made sure to go through everything we found as diligently as I could.
As diligently?
When it comes to that amazing marriage you happen to have and bragged about, that is actually all a lie, right? You have actually been divorced from Jackson for over 5 years now. And when it happened, you didn't get any kind of money or properties from him. And ever since that happened, you have not been remarried and have been all alone. You tried so hard to make yourself look like you were living your best life as a housewife online, but because of that, you are now $60,000 in debt. And the amount of money in your bank account right now is only $3, right?
No! So you found out freaking everything about the true me.
I'm sorry, but having someone in your situation ask out for financial support and starting up that salon, well, it's going to become a real headache for us, I'm sure. You already happen to be in a terrible financial situation yourself, but also lied to my husband and I about your private life. If anything, you tried to commit fraud by doing all of that.
What do you mean fraud? Who the hell cares that I did all that? I just wanted to start my dream business so that I could help cater those with lots of money and make a living. I already have a major following online and they all care about me without even having to know that I lost my husband.
But the fact that you lied to us about your horrendous situation means that my bank will not help you. How about you tell all your followers the truth and maybe get some support from all of them? Tell them that you still have that dream, but need all their support to make it happen so that a lonely and poor woman like you can be happy too. You'll probably get a lot of them feeling bad for how desperate you are, and they'll do anything to give you a helping hand.
But when the celebrities find out about how my salon started, they won't come. You are not going to get away with treating me like an idiot any longer. And the fact that you looked into my true self without my permission is not okay.
I'm not treating you like an idiot if you've already been acting like one. And I went ahead and looked into the true you in order to try and help with your business dream. Yet, after all that time my bank and I put into looking you up, you saying that about me hurts.
Ugh! I wish I had never ran into you in front of the bank like that. For Christ's sake, you and your screwed up husband are the worst. I don't give a dang about your bank support and I don't want to talk to you ever again.
But you wanted to be the one getting support from me.
Let me tell you right now that if you go out to anyone about my true life and started yapping about it, I'm going to kill you. I promise you that.
After that, I never received another text from Tiffany ever again. And as for my husband, he was in the same boat as me, never having to get a text from her ever again. And after what happened between us, Tiffany's debt only continued to grow. And with that money she took out from loan sharks, began to start a business of her own catering to the wealthy. But each month, she only makes herself $300 as there are very few people coming to be around her, and I have enough to say that that is not enough money to keep the business going. And when she went online to tell all her followers to visit her, not a single one of them came. What makes this all worse is that she's leasing the current building she's in for $5,000 a month, and that's only causing her debt to grow even more. And at one point, one of the loan sharks waltzed into her salon to leave her a message, and that the next day the place was closed down and she was nowhere to be found.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey, Irene, what the heck is your problem, huh? Care to explain this pie in the fridge? It's absolutely huge. How am I supposed to fit anything else in here? Oh, hey, Luna. I really am sorry for taking the fridge right now. It was just that I baked the pie before going to work last night. I was going to have some after I get back from my shift, but feel free to help yourself to some if you'd like. I have some different kinds of teas in the cupboard that might go well with it. You think I want to have a single bite out of something that some gas station attendant made? Besides, don't you know that I'm on a diet? Oh, I see. I guess I didn't know about the diet. And just why would you go and bake something, huh? Don't you know that we just had our oven replaced? Don't tell me that you used it. Well, yeah, of course I used the new oven. In fact, I was really surprised with how well the pie turned out. I think this new oven really elevated it over a pie that I would have made with the old one. But anyways, the pie is for everyone to share, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I really just can't believe you. You do know that I was the one who bought the new oven in the first place, right? I paid for it all, so just who do you think you are using it without asking me first, huh? I'm sorry, I don't think I quite understand what you mean. I am saying that it's my oven and you should have asked me before using it. I mean, seriously, how old are you that I have to be explaining this? I bought it, so it's mine. It's just that simple, and you should have known better than to use something that isn't yours without asking first. Hold on just a second there. What do you mean it's your oven? I mean, isn't it for all of us to use? Besides, it's your fault that the last oven that we had broke in the first place. That's why he had to completely replace it. Are you kidding me? I know that you're not trying to blame me for this. That oven was on its last legs and I just happened to be using it when it broke. But then you all had to make this huge deal about it and forced me to buy a new one. But you guys are the ones that were using the oven all the time, which caused it to break. I don't know what you want me to say. You broke the oven, so it's only natural that you should pay to fix it. And besides, I was the one who paid for this oven and I didn't care at all if other people used it. Well, I am telling you that I bought this new oven, and that means that it belongs to me. Do you understand? So don't go using it without asking me about it first. In fact, the next time that you want to use the oven, I'm going to charge you $5. So what do you think about that? You're going to charge me money just for using the oven? What is the matter with you? So you've got all the money in the world to buy the things to make a pie, but you can't afford $5 to bake it? You really must think the world revolves around you, huh? But maybe it's just that you can't actually afford it. And just what is that supposed to mean? I mean that you are already the age you are and you're still living with your parents. I think that you can hardly say that you've lived a successful life if that's the case. Not only that, but you work at a gas station and are always bringing back free things from there. And on top of all that, you have to force your sister to buy new appliances. It's pretty obvious that you're nothing but a huge failure and don't know what you're doing with your life. Wow, I can't believe that I'm having to take this from you. What is the matter with you? What's the matter is that you were touching my stuff without asking me first. You didn't buy the oven, so you shouldn't have been using it.
So, you and Luna were getting into it again, because you used the oven that Luna was saying belonged to her.
I wouldn't say that we were getting into it as much as Luna was completely overreacting. I mean, it's like she completely forgot that she bought the oven as a replacement for the one that she broke. And now she's acting as if it's some precious object of hers that only she's allowed to use. She wanted to charge me money to use it.
I see. Well, in that case, it seems to me like it's all your fault.
What? Are you kidding me? How is any of this my fault when Luna was the one who broke the stove in the first place? Luna doesn't even use the oven. She doesn't bake or cook or anything like that at all. So for her to be getting so mad about people using something that she would normally not even touch is just absurd.
Well, sure, you say that the oven broke, but it's really just that one component of the oven broke, right? I mean, it still produced heat and all. I'm not sure the whole thing needed to be replaced, to be honest. But because you made Luna do so, I think you have to take the blame for this. You basically forced her to buy a whole new oven when that really wasn't even necessary.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That oven was so old and had been well used by the time it broke.
I get that, but that still just means that it looked like an old oven. That says nothing about how it was actually working. You should have just made her replace the part that was actually broken. I think that you just wanted a new oven, and that's why you made Luna be the one to go and buy it for you. Honestly, not only is that selfish of you, but it's also just so obvious.
I can't believe what I'm reading. Did you really think this was all some elaborate plot by me?
Oh, come on, Irene. It's not like you're the most mature person. I mean, you're still just working part-time at a gas station. It's clear you just wanted someone to buy you something new. You used Luna and manipulated the situation to get what you wanted out of her. Just admit it.
I am not going to admit something that I didn't do, and I didn't force Luna to do anything.
And I think that you're just changing the story to fit the narrative that you want it to. But the fact of the matter is that you're still living at home and you could never afford something like that yourself. When are you finally gonna grow up and move out? You really need to understand where you stand in all this.
Where I stand? And just what is that supposed to mean, huh?
Well, you're acting like you're so special, but I'm the eldest son and I'm living at home to take care of mom and dad. The fact of the matter is that there's no reason for you to be here. I'm the new master of the house. I think you need to recognize that.
Did you seriously just call yourself the master of the house?
Well, it's true. I mean, this house, this land, I'm going to be getting all of it after our parents die. And so I just think you need to realize where you stand in all of this. All I'm saying is that you might want to think a bit about the future and maybe leave my wife alone. Okay?
You better be joking about all of this. I mean, since when did anyone say that you were going to be the master of the house? And just who said that you were going to be inheriting all of that after our parents pass away?
Well, I'm the eldest son, so of course I would get everything and you wouldn't. I mean, sure, you're my older sister, but you're not even married. That's why I'm telling you to stop being such a leech and learn how to stand on your own 2 feet.
Are you kidding me right now, John?
Sorry, I know it's easier said than done. I mean, who wouldn't want to marry a woman working at a gas station? But anyways, just leave Luna alone, okay?
Hey, Irene, I was just curious. How much money do you have in your bank account? Do you think you have enough to rent an apartment? And just why do you want to know how much money I have? I mean, I probably could afford an apartment, but why do you ask? I knew it! I knew that you were nothing but a little leech. You had savings this whole time, and yet you still insist on living at home. But now that I know you can afford to move out, I want you to pack up your bags and get out of here. We are done with you. Excuse me? You want me to pack up my bags and leave? Well, you just said that you had enough money to get yourself an apartment, so I'm not seeing what the deal is. But you can't just kick me out of my own home like this all of a sudden. What is going on here? Don't you see that this is all for you? If you don't have this push to help you get out of the house, then you're never going to learn how to be responsible. And since it's clear that you've been selfishly saving up money to hoard for yourself, I don't see any problem with kicking you out. You really think that I'm just some kind of selfish leech? Is that all you think of me? Of course it is, and it's high time that somebody kicked some sense into you, so I am taking it upon myself to throw you out. You need to go out into the world and learn how to take care of yourself. Luna, I'm sorry, but I just can't understand any of this. I mean, I haven't done anything to you or John, and I have a job. Sure, you have a job, but you're still not living on your own or standing on your own 2 feet. You're nothing but a gas station attendant who needs to trick her sister-in-law to buy her a new oven. Well, John and I are done feeding into your bad habits and laziness. That's right, even John is with me on this. In fact, this was all John's idea. Are you kidding me? You mean to tell me that my own brother is trying to kick me out? He thinks that having you around is going to hurt his chances of inheriting the most wealth as possible from his parents, so that's why we're kicking you out. I see. And just what did my mom have to say about this little coup of yours, huh? Does she even know? Well, we don't need to bring this up with her at all. Besides, John already knows that she'll go without plan. After all, this is for her sake as well. And just how in the world do you figure that, huh? Because I know that your mom would rather just live with John and I and would love to get rid of you. Everyone would be better off without a leech like you in their lives. So you're really saying that my mom is on your side and you trying to kick me out? I'm saying that she will be and that it's no concern of yours to begin with. Now just pack up your bags, leave, and never ever come back. There isn't a single person in this house who wants you around. So take you and your part-time gas station working behind and just go already. Okay then, if that's really what you want, I'll be gone before the day is done. And never ever come back. The house belongs to John and I, and that's it. There's not enough room for you here, and there never was. You really are clueless, do you know that? But if I'm not going to be coming back to this home anymore, then I'll make sure that no one can ever go home to it. And just what is that supposed to mean, huh? It means that I have tried to be patient with you, and now I am just at my limit. I had no problem when you two moved in. But if you two are really going to try and kick me out of my own home, then I'll have to take matters into my own hands. And I'd rather see this house demolished and this land turned into a parking lot before handing it over to you. Look, Irene, I get that you're upset about being kicked out like this, but you have no authority to do anything like that at all. Oh, really? That's funny, because last I checked, I owned this house, and it's my name on the deed. Wait, what? It's your name on the deed? That's right. So tell me again how I don't have the right to do what I want to my property? What's stopping me from demolishing the house and selling the land? You know that this area is in pretty high demand, right? I could find a buyer within hours, but first I'll go and find a new apartment for myself. And tomorrow I'll look more seriously into what can be done about the house. But wait, hold on. Are you seriously the owner of the house? Why in the world is it your name on the deed? Well, it's because my mom changed the name from hers to mine, and that made me the owner. You see, after you and John got married, Mom decided to ask me to manage her estate. But I don't get it. Why would she want you to handle all of that? Well, it's because neither of us thought that you and John would want to move in with Mom. And since Mom was worried about what might happen in the future with her health, she wanted me to have the power to handle things if it came to that. But I had no idea about any of this at all. Well, Mom and I were thinking about telling you both, but we just had no idea how long you would be staying. Mom seemed to think that you two were always going to move out soon, though, so she thought better than to tell you both. But anyways, all of this is to say that the talk about you two inheriting the house and not me is just all something John came up with. But this can't be happening. The house, the land, it was all supposed to be ours. Well, don't worry. I'll let Mom decide who she wants to go and live with. And if she ends up picking you two, I'll even make sure to pay you money to take care of her. And just where are you going to get the money to do that? Why would you even do something like that? Well, because I promised Mom that I would take care of her. It wasn't just the house I was entrusted with. But anyways, after I sell this house, I'll also have enough money to be able to take care of Mom. In fact, this whole time, I've been giving help to Mom with her bills and even giving her an allowance. You have? But I really had no idea about any of this at all. Well, now you do. But anyways, I've got to go and start packing up all my bags. I'll explain what's happening to my mom, and you can explain this all to John. I would start packing up your things as well, by the way. You won't have much longer here. No, this can't be happening. You're lying. You've got to be lying to me right now. I mean, our whole plan, it's all gone. We were going to have the house all to ourselves, really make it our own, and now you're telling me that we're actually getting nothing? Yep, there won't even be a house standing by the time everything's said and done. But your brother is the eldest son. You can't just take his house from him. I already told you that John was never getting the house, so I'm not taking anything away from him. But anyways, him being the eldest son means nothing. So anyways, I'm going to go and pack. Good luck with everything. So in the end, I packed up my bags, lived in a hotel for a week while I apartment hunted, and ended up finding a great condo to live in. I made sure that it had room for 2 people since I knew that my mom would want to come and live with me and not Luna and John. She actually loved the place so much and was much happier there than back home. As for my brother John and his wife Luna, they had quite the panicked packing after they realized their time living at home was limited. They had actually drawn so many plans of all that they wanted to do to the house once my mom and I were out of the way. But all of their dreams and plans and blueprints came down to nothing as bulldozers tore down the house and flattened the land into an empty lot. I hear that the 2 of them are living in a terribly cramped apartment these days with almost no savings to speak of. I really have no idea where their money went. They must have thought they were going to get so much from owning the house after they kicked me out. It's clear, however, that they should have come up with a backup plan for themselves. I can only hope that this experience has taught them to always double-check documents and know the full context of what they're getting themselves into, to say nothing about lessons on how to treat people.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.